My own liberation depends on my willingness to see truth beyond my own self-image. Janet Planet, not to be confused with Damn It, Janet Planet, comes to us from A24 and writer director and Are You Okay, Annie Baker in her feature credit, and stars Julianne Nicholson, who was most recently in Dream Scenario, another A24 movie that certainly was wild and crazy, and comes to us from A24, and also Nicolas Cage was in it. Nicolas Cage is nowhere near this, but Julianne is a terrific actress and helps anchor this as Janet in a movie called Janet Planet. Again, not Damn It, Janet Planet. And if you get that reference, honestly, I truly love you guys. So, she plays a mother that is into acupuncture, helps people out, and lives a quiet life in rural Massachusetts in the summer of 1991, and she has a daughter, Lacey, played by Zoe Ziegler, who is imaginative and adventurous, is very attached to her mother. So much so that she kind of grills the various men that come into her mother's life, men that come and go as they please, and come in and go as they please, har har. And we just basically see the relationship, develop, grow, and get fractured. And basically it's a mother-daughter relationship that is told in a nice, neat way, and kind of just a cool way where really you just see their lives play out. It's a movie that invites you into its world, even if its world is kind of just a time capsule that some people, may identify with, some may not. Some of it is told from Lacey's perspective. I do want to say, by the way, that Zoe is terrific as Lacey. I look forward to seeing what she can do in the future, if this is what she can do at her young age. And Julianne, once again, is terrific. And I heard a lot about this movie. I actually had planned to go see it in theaters, but I decided to wait until streaming. So I just rented it on Amazon for about $7. And you know what? There are some good performances in this. And it is a nice, well-told story. It is a slow burn. It is very artsy. I can definitely see why some people did not like this and why some people may not exactly, be able to, just immerse themselves in this. I'm not saying it's perfect. There are numerous scenes that go on way too long. And I know it's supposed to basically just, be a way where we just watch their lives play out. We see Lacey walk to her piano lessons, play this song, Lacey the piano, not man, the woman, as it were. And she, she's going through changes as well. Changes, like to the 6th grade, changes, and nothing is ever going to be the same. A lot of song references here. And Janet has, has a chat with like one particular character, Regina, a little bit later on. And we do, that kind of ties a few things together, and a lot of relationship talk happens. It's really just about these characters and watching just their hearts pour out. Though I will say that, again, had they cut some of the walking scenes either completely out or at least trimmed them down a bit, this could have been a nicer, tighter 90 to 95 minutes. As it stands, 112 minutes is a little bit long for a story like this, but that being said, the performances of Julianne and Zoe do help elevate this quite a bit. And Annie Baker does prove that she actually is a talented filmmaker. I mean, again, when you do your feature credit, it's hard to tell how things are going to go. And this turns out pretty good. Pretty good for the performances, some really nice shots, some good use of music. A little bit of a spoiler, there is a, little blurb of the Clarissa Explains It All theme. Na, 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 na. And anybody that is in my wheelhouse of age, I just triggered your nostalgia button right there. Or your nostalgia switch. I'm flipping your switch. This does not look like a switch flip. Let's just move on. Will Patton's also in this. And we have other side characters as well. I do want to shout out the actors playing Regina, Sophie Okonedo. I apologize for misconstruing that. I've seen her in a couple things. She actually is a terrific actress as well. I just screwed up her last name because I tend to do that. But good performances, decent world building, and a well-told story helps, put this above, I'd say, most artsy films would be something like this. Again, if you do not care for this, I will totally understand. I will totally understand if you find this boring, if you find this not interesting, and I don't find it perfect. It's not on my favorite films of the year list, not by a long shot, but it is pretty good, and I'm definitely glad that I threw a few dollars of my own money towards it. Why pirate stuff when you can see stuff like this? So, good performances and everything. Gonna get into spoilers, won't take very long. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, Zoe as Lacey, I do want to say once again, terrific, absolutely terrific. Lacey just has, like, we start off with her at camp. She wanders to a cabin to get on a payphone and basically says to her mother, if you don't come to pick me up, she's going to not be here anymore. I'm dancing around the language. And they capture the 90s aesthetic really well. I mean, you would have thought Are You Afraid of the Dark was going to bust out. But this isn't Canada. It's not the Usos. And she doesn't approve of the fact that her mother keeps kind of like dating around. And it's not that she doesn't want her mother to be happy, but she's attached to her mother, but also she sees that her mother is kind of just being used. And we get chapters like Wayne and Wayne. We get, Regina and Regina. We get Avi and Avi. And I do really like the fact that it kind of ties a few things together. She's got this like almost dollhouse nativity scene like thing with a bunch of characters, and she's got this like curtain you pull back, you see this play going on. J.C. Penney, that gets a shout. I remember J.C. Penney. I remember malls when malls used to actually be destination, not programming, but destination locations. I think I mentioned this in another review, and I don't remember which one it was, but it was something recent. I think it was Chopping Mall, actually. And that, back when malls actually were, on the rise and everything, were actually pretty good. We have, like, one good mall, like, within my vicinity. There's, like, one that I saw when I saw Mars Express, and it has, like, 2 stores, and it just has a movie theater that has been updated to kind of just be as good as it was, as theaters were about 15 years ago, but I digress. There were characters like Susanna, Don't You Cry For Me, because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee, toss. You could have cut some of the walking stuff and the long lingering shots, even though it shows artistic talent and it tells a story and there's contemplative parts to it. I'm all for that, but you gotta have a little bit more material for it. Janet does acupuncture therapy. Wayne isn't feeling all that well. Wayne's kind of losing it. Wayne either ends up, we don't actually know, I think he just ends up leaving, but I thought the implication was at first that he was dead. Then there was this weird Renaissance festival-like thing with giant creatures, and one looked like one of the giant monsters in Alien Factor. That's a deep cut for cinematic Titanic fans. Something has got to happen. Well, why start now is what I was saying. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just had to say that. Though, once again, Regina, Sophie, had a very good role in this. I hope that she gets more opportunities. She knows Jan. She also knows Avi. There's kind of like a thing where she leaves the nest, so to speak, for a little bit. Because this group isn't a cult, but they're kind of cult-like. And they even grow their own food. Avi mentions about zucchini and said, leave a donation or please take a zucchini. And you can do whatever you want with that zucchini. Hey-o! So, we get a deep conversation, to an extent, between Regina and Janet. Janet's kind of opening up, and it almost seems like Regina cuts her off. And that kind of bothers Janet. But Regina did also say, you've dated a lot of guys and everything. It's like, yes, they have made mistakes. We need to be, we need to admit our own mistakes and everything. At least that's how I interpret it, because some of it is left open to interpretation with facial expressions. Then later, Regina leaves with Avi. Sometime after that. I mean, time seemingly just passes. Like, maybe we started in the very beginning of summer and everything, because days and weeks seem to pass quickly. And then there's a nice conversation, actually it's very sweet, between daughter and mother. She says, would you hate me would you be disappointed in me if I dated a girl? No, I wouldn't be. I actually always thought that you might be a lesbian. You're upfront in this, and your attitude and the way you express yourself might be easier to, do with a woman than a man. That's kind of the indictment of how, women were seen back in 1991. Good thing things have changed now, and women are seen as equals by so many people. They should be, by the way. That is not me saying that women should not be seen as equal. It's just sad that others still view it, differently. Janet doesn't feel attractive. Julianne is an attractive woman, and she has a star quality about her, but she plays Janet very well. Kind of feeling defeated. And then Avi comes into the picture, kind of as another man, so to speak. Talks like God and Big Bang stuff and everything. And this is starting to drag, is what I noted. Janet's then talking about liberation, because this was an earlier part of the conversation between Lacey and Janet about, Janet says, I've always tried to, maybe if I try hard enough, I can make any man love me. And Lacey says, can you stop? What? Stop trying? Stop trying. Give up! No. Then summer ends. She's going out to 6th grade. Lacey, that is not Janet. That would be very weird. It would prove that her education did not carry her very far, as she's in 6th grade, at least in her 40s. But nevertheless, the Clarissa explains it all theme. Wasn't that the one where, that friend of hers was always, getting into her open window? God, the 90s were all about, everything where girls had no privacy. Again, good thing we've gotten past that. So, Janet's having some issues. There was an earlier part with a tick, where she had a tick on her and they burned the tick. Dug the tick out and burned it. Die, tick. That was actually kind of funny. And then Avi and Janet go off on a picnic date while Lacey is recovering from a sickness that she had. And Avi's reading a poem to her, says he really likes her. And then Janet basically tells him to read again. But then Avi's gone, just suddenly gone. He does mention, by the way, about a puppet stage tying back to what Lacey had a little bit earlier, with all the figures and stuff like that. And Avi and then Lacey goes off to school. We're going to the fall. She's back at school, that is. And then square dancing. Dear God, I never wanted to revisit that. We used to have to do that in gym. It was terrible. Not very fun. Nevertheless, look, B, solid B, gets a point across. Very good performances. Just could have had some of the stuff cut out because it just felt like some of the fat needed to be trimmed. But well made and well intentioned, and I really did enjoy it for the most part. So B, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.